All right, here we go. It's another great edition of RJ's Lives. We got our great panel here. We got Tom from Knife Delights, Harold from HTZDC,
Howdy, howdy.
here Cal Kalen himself, and Andrew from Baxter's Blades. So welcome, guys, and welcome to everybody in the chat. We got Elan and Old Farts Knives, Mike Curtis, Big E's Knives, Pepper Dingo, Ginger Fisher. Sean is here. You thought Mikey had got us? Nah, not at all. And I'm sure I missed a bunch of other people in the chat. Ground Fog, I know, was here, and RDS Wood Turning is here. I got a package coming from RDS. It should be here this week, and so I'm really looking forward to that. So expect a video on his goods, because he showed me what's coming, and wow, I'm impressed with the pictures. He said, wait till you see it in real life. So there you go. We'll share that with you as soon as that becomes available. So today's show is kind of different. It's our first Q&A type show. And what I thought is that you guys in the chat can ask us questions about knives. We could even touch on knife repair or sharpening a little bit. We could talk about collecting, how to collect, how we got started collecting, sub collections, and all of that fun stuff. And of course, we'll take your request to see any knives that we have. I got a big pile of them here, but I might have to go run and get some more. But I thought we'll just open up the floor to you guys in the chat. Does anybody have any? Oh, Christian Bale is a knife nut. I did not know that. That guy who plays Aquaman, Jason Momoa, he's a knife nerd too. He has a knife concern doing custom knives, and so does Zach Brown. He does the Southern Grind knives. So there's a lot of us knife nerds out there. We just all have to unite. All right, here we go. Pepper Dingo has one. Favorite knife steel. For me, I'm going to say just probably good old 1095 carbon is good for me. How about you, Tom?
420 HC with the Boz heat treatment.
I wonder who makes that.
I think it was Buck. I read that somewhere. Yeah,
I think so. All right, HT, how about you for a favorite blade steel?
Yeah, for my traditionals, I would follow suit with the carbons. 1095, good old 1095. What else is there out there? 80 CRV2 is a good one. For my moderns, what do I like? And probably my favorite modern. I mean, can't go wrong with Magna Cut as far as modern. So I guess I'm in that genre that bought into Magna Cut. But man, I have nothing wrong with the good old 400 series stainless and the carbon steels as well, as far as pocket knives and folders.
Yep. How about you, Kalen?
I like chrome vanadium.
Yep, that's a good one. And how about you, Andrew?
I really like 1095 carbon's a great one. D2 is nice on traditionals. And as far as maybe modern steels, I'd say S30V, Buck's S30V is really nice, only because I haven't tried their S35 or S45. But their 420, it's no slouch. I love their 420 high carbon, but yeah, and I just recently picked up another Buck knife in 420, and it's just a razor blade. They do a really good job sharpening it.
I'll agree with D2 is a great steel. I do like D2. Probably my favorite of the modern steels, I think, for a good all around steel is the 154 CM.
Oh,
that's a good all around steel. And Elon likes the 01 tool steel. And yep, Mike Curtis agrees with the 154 CM. Yep. Hey, Terrell, he's here. How you doing? Old Fart says he likes steel that's made into a blade. That's always a good one.
The sharp kind.
Where it came from. Yeah, as long as you can sharpen it and it holds an edge somewhat decently, why not?
I will add that it doesn't matter what kind of steel you have if your heat treat and your tempering isn't right.
That's right. 100%.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. And Elon likes the 01. He says he likes how it patinas and keeps a decent edge. Yeah, the 01 tool steel. I only have one knife that's in 01 tool steel. And Mrs. C is here. Hi, Mrs. C. And all right. Do we have any other questions from the chat room? Oh, that's good to know. Mike Curtis says a lot of the Tony Bose knives are 154 CM. Was that
That's
the actual Tony Bose knives, or is that the one? Case probably used their True Sharp and most of theirs, right?
It
Kaylin?
is the Tony Bose Case collaboration knives he's talking about, the ones that come with the pouches, the zipper pouches,
Okay.
with the box. Yeah, those all come with the 154 CM,
Okay. Very good.
and those are the ones that you see from $400 to $1,000. Easy.
And yeah, a hefty price tag.
Okay, there we go. Here's another question. Cover materials. Do you prefer wood or bone? I would have to say that I like bone because I have more bone covered knives than wood covered knives, although wood runs a close second in my collection. How about you, Tom?
I like bony wood.
Nice.
I don't have a favorite. They each have their own qualities.
That's true.
Purple curly maple that Case came out with on that Ictus series, and that wood is just absolutely gorgeous. But then again, I got a lot of knives with gorgeous bone covers too, so I can't pick between the two, I guess.
Okay. And then how about you, Harold?
I follow suit with that. I probably have more bone, love a good jig bone, but there is something to say about, like he said, some good curly birch or curly maple. There is some, and some of those exotic woods like, what is it, koa wood over there in Hawaii. That is some
Right.
beautiful stuff. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of there too. All depends. Love it all. Love it all.
Yeah. And what about you, Kaylin?
That's a no-brainer for me. I go with the bone.
And how about you, Andrew?
I'd say bone is my favorite. I really do have a soft spot for wood, though. Most of my bucks are all wood. They don't do much in bone. And then micarta, I do like micarta on some traditionals, but my favorite would have to be bone. I have more bone than anything else.
Yeah. Tyler had a great question here. He wanted to know, how has our collecting changed from when we started, like brands and styles and
Oh, goodness.
things like that? For me, I guess I didn't really start collecting until probably about, I'd say 2020. Before that, I would just buy knives as needed. And I used to buy a lot of modern knives. I'd buy, lockbacks and Spydercos and stuff like that. But then after a while, I found, a slip joint, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. It's really elegant, really reminded me of a better, more simpler time. And I started going down the traditional path. So, before I was collecting more modern knives, and I mean, they included, like I said, Spyderco, Buck, Kershaw, Gerber. But then when I went and turned traditional, then I was going for Rough Riders and then Case. And then, of course, you get into the older stuff, so now I'm kind of turning into a little bit of vintage things, and I'm looking for the original makers of, like the Camillus and the Imperials and the Queens and Westerns and other knives of the past, so that's kind of me in a nutshell. We'll go ahead to you, Tom.
Well, I think I kind of followed the same path as you. I used to just buy a knife, just whatever. Oh, this one looks good. I'll use this. Just a pocket knife, slip joint knife. Never gave much thought to anything about brands or steels or anything like that. And in about 2017 or 18, for whatever reason, the collecting bug just kind of bit me. And it's either been uphill or downhill, however you want to view it from there. But I've pretty much started out with buck. And I would say my biggest focus still is on buck knives. However, Case got me with the Ichthys Shield, that series of knives. That kind of got me into getting a lot of Case knives. Other than that, though, one thing that's really expanded is hitting the antique stores and places and buying the old vintage fixed blades and slip joints and fixing them up, refurbishing them, getting them back into working order. So a lot of my focus has went that way too. For one thing, you can buy a lot more knives in an antique store than you can buy new knives, because a lot of times you can get them for $5, $10, maybe $15. Put a little work into them, and you got a wonderful working knife. Classic vintage knife. So, yeah. Now, like Rough Rider, I've got just a few. I think I've only bought one or two Rough Riders, because I know if I started getting them, I'd go down that rabbit hole. And it's so easy to get sidetracked and maintaining focus on like building my buck collection. This last year, I added quite a few knives to my buck collection to help get it rounded out, but still got a long ways to go.
Very good. How about you, Harold? I'm gonna step out for just a second. I'm gonna grab a piece of paper because I don't want to lose out on these questions as they're rolling in. So I'll be right back. Go ahead, Harold, and we'll let you say your piece.
I have, have been historically a wave collector. I was staunchly in moderns for one time. I went down the fixed blade rabbit hole. I am kind of 90 to nothing. When I'm in one or the other, I kind of laser focus, and that is what I'm doing. And I think, knock on wood here, that I've really found a home this time. I'm really in the traditionals. You guys know I love, with Tom, I'm a buck knife lover. I love the Case, some of the Rough Riders, GEC, just the whole slip joint thing. I think, again, historically this wouldn't be true because I have swapped around a lot. But I think I'm kind of found a home with the traditionals now. And that is what I really like now. We went to a gun and knife show actually yesterday, and we got some good finds. I actually picked up me and my friend that went with me got some sort of vintage knives, I guess, if you will. And there's nothing to me, there's just nothing to me like the good sound of a perfectly tuned half stop, that perfectly tuned walk and talk. And that bug has got me right now. And I don't think it's going to let go. But I have kind of done it all. Like I said, I've grabbed some knives here. I've got a Chris Reeve Sabenza sitting in front of me, a 940 Osborne, for my days of when I was hard chasing the moderns. I've got some fixed blades here, and there was a time I just kind of swapped over to nothing but like the EDC size fixed blades, and that was my jam. But I think, knock on wood, I found a home with the traditionals now, and I'm happy to be there. And I think that's when I go to a knife or gun show now, there is moderns, there's fixed blades, there's all kind of knives, and I'm there looking for these guys for the traditionals. So that's kind of where I've been and where I think I'm headed.
Very good.
Nice.
All right, Kaylin, you want to go ahead and say your piece?
Sure.
Before you start, Mrs. C did point out that we only have 12 likes and we got 30 some odd people here. Go ahead and smash that like button. We need the thumbs up. All right. Go ahead, Kaylin.
Always been a Case guy. Always been gifted Case knives since I was a little kid. My grandparents and my dad. For Christmas or my birthday, I was always gifted Case knives or old timers. So that's really all I've ever had. I've had one or two modern knives, and I wouldn't even say modern knives. I would call them gas station knives. They weren't nothing special, over the years. And up until about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, I think I had maybe 40 traditionals, and inherited some special knives. One of them was a fighting rooster. My granddad carried it. It was the knife he was carrying when he passed, and I went down a major rabbit hole with fighting roosters and traditionals in general. That I just never really paid attention to. Knives were just something that I had at that point, you know what I mean? And once that happened, eBay kind of snuck up on me and grabbed a hold of me, and started buying a bunch of fighting roosters, and I accumulated probably 30 of them. And then case, I'd always, like I said, always had those. So I jumped back into case one day, and the first one was a swayback, Tony Bowes, little gray bone, Warncliffe swayback. And after that, it was just I would call it a downhill roller coaster ride, even though it's been a blast. It's all I collect. I've had old timer collections, I would say sub collections, but I've either let those go to other people to help with their collections, or and I gift a lot of case knives as well, just hoping to get other people into case knife collecting, because there's a lot of them. There's just a lot of case knives, and there's plenty of room for other collectors to come in and start collecting. So get out there and collect them.
Yep. But don't collect the ones we collect, because then that drives the price up.
It's inevitable.
Yeah, I often wonder sometimes when I'm bidding on eBay if I'm bidding against one of you guys or something. Yeah.
It depends. If it's a buck knife, no, not at all. Just
Good enough.
go ahead, Andrew.
So how has my knife collecting changed? Well, when I first started getting knives, I didn't really collect. I was just getting them as users. I was more into moderns. And then Rosecraft blades got me into slip joints for their awesome quality for the price point. And also like Rough Riders and Ropers. After that, I was starting to collect a lot of those because they were just really affordable. Case and buck were always just a little bit more than I wanted to pay for knives. But my collecting has changed now that I'm collecting a lot more. I have quite a few case. Every once in a while, a Rough Rider pop up, and I like to pick it up. Every once in a while, a really cool modern pops up that I'll get. Generally go for the good deals, discounts. But yeah, a lot of buck lockbacks. I got quite a few 110s now. Never really been too much into fixed blades, but I have accumulated quite a few. But yeah, I went from modern slip joints, modern 2 slip joints, and then once I got plenty of Rough Riders and Ropers and everything, I started thinking, well, maybe I'll just spend a little bit more money and get some good quality knives. Not that Rough Riders are bad. And I'm still collecting Rosecraft. I have a couple more on the way.
Sounds really good. Singing Toad says he won't bid on crummy buck knives, but if he sees a K Tactical, he lays his money down. All right. So here we go on our catch-up questions. Favorite patterns? You know me. I'm a trapper guy. So is Andrew. Andrew likes them too, but really I like all kinds of knives. I don't stop at trappers, as you can tell from my channel, and I've always thought of this as a compliment. I've had other YouTube channels tell me that they like watching my channel because they never know what kind of knife I'm going to show next, and I think that that's a pretty good compliment and kind of shows you that I'm kind of all over in the knife world, because I do enjoy knives. Period. Go ahead, Tom. I'm sure you have an opinion on this.
All of them.
There you go.
I hate these favorite questions because it can change minute by minute or week by week.
That's true. That's true.
I would guess probably overall my favorite pattern would be a Stockman. Just because you got the 3 blades and the versatility to them. So just, overall a Stockman. Although, man, I happen to have like this Congress, this old Punk Falls Congress sitting here. There's something to be said about that Congress pattern too. It just, yeah. Some days, it's all about trappers. I love the trappers. Other days, yeah. It doesn't matter. I just love them all. But if I had to pick one overall, I'd have to say a Stockman, just for its versatility.
All right. HT?
I'm gonna have to say number one is the folding hunters. The lockbacks would be my numero uno. The 112. Watch anybody knows much about my channel knows the 112 is the greatest thing since sliced bread to me, and I love the 110 as well. But as far as a slip joint patterns, I really love a muskrat. Muskrats are kind of high on my pecking order, and the lockable pocket knives like the tribal lock, the copper locks. I chase a lot of those. So I guess overall, I'm a lockback guy, but I do love, and I say that, and that don't have that walk and talk. I guess I'm kind of contradicting myself. But any knife that has a stellar walk and talk that's just a regular slip joint, when it's just tuned perfectly, I don't care about the pattern. I have an appreciation for that, very much so. But I would say if it doesn't lock, I would probably say a muskrat, and all the lockings, the buck lock backs and the copper locks, the trapper locks, the tribal locks. That's kind of my sweet spot.
Very good. Of course, Kaylin, I know you'll have an opinion on this one.
Yeah, I do. But before we get to that, if I could get the screen for a second,
Well, of course.
because I want to do this justice.
All right. Here you go.
This was the knife my granddad was carrying when he passed.
Wow.
That is beautiful. That is a beautiful knife.
And that is red celluloid.
Now, did it look like that, Kalen, or have you restored that and got it? Have you done a lot of restoring to that, or did he keep it? Did it look anywhere like that?
He kept it like this.
Wow.
He kept it like that.
Wow.
And, I don't know how much he was actually using it. He was definitely just, carrying it around at that point. But at the moment, right now, at this very moment, this is the kind of knife that I'm into, the pattern. I'm into jackknives. It don't matter what kind of jackknife. It's got me right now.
Yeah. We had a question about your grandfather's knife. Tyler wanted to know what the etch on the blade said.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a 1993 one of 600 red bone hound, and it's got a hound dog there in the center of that circle.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And this
Awesome.
one is got to find it. This is number 34 of 600, 034.
We got some real time bidding coming in on that one. People are saying they will give you $10 for it right now.
They keep on walking too. But
Grandpa had good taste.
Yeah, he did.
He really
That's
did.
a beautiful knife, and Grandpa gets style points for that one because I hope that when I'm ready to go, I'll have a really nice pocket jewelry on me too.
No doubt.
Absolutely. I'm sure you will. But this is Appaloosa bone. This is Case's Appaloosa bone. This is 1979. This was the first year that they released Appaloosa bone, and they actually marked A. If it's Appaloosa and it's 79 and 80, or maybe even 81. I don't think they did it too much after that, but it'll have an A there before the pattern stamp. And this one is 6235 and a half.
Wow,
Appaloosa bone. So
that's another gorgeous knife. I absolutely love how Case does the bone.
Great snap too.
Yeah, so nice.
Thank you.
No, thank you. That was very, very nice. Very good. All right, Andrew, you're up.
That's a tough question. I'm similar to Tom. I do like them all, but I got to say, trappers have got to be one of my favorites. Specifically, a Case Mini Trapper with a Warncliffe is one of my absolute favorite patterns because they're small, compact. This is the Bird's Eye Maple. Probably doesn't come out really well. My only wood case knife. Barlow's maybe second. And then it gets blurry. I'm not a huge Stockman fan, but I have a huge soft spot for the 75. I've been really getting into the full size Copper Locks, one of my favorites. And of course, I'm a huge Buck 110 fan. Buck 112, close second.
Yeah, I think for me it's the other way. I think a 112 first, and then a 110.
A lot of people are like that. For some reason, the 112 just gives me the fizz. Or the 110. The 112 kind of gives me the fizz.
Make up your mind, man.
It's just a smaller fizz. That's all.
I'm all over the place. I do like jackknives. They're awesome. Yeah. And odd patterns like mooses and muskrats. But my two favorites have got to be Trapper, Barlow. And of course, lockbacks are fantastic.
Oh, yeah, of course. We love them all. Okay, so here's another one. Okay, did anybody show some zebra wood? Was that?
I have some zebra wood, but that was a Bird's Eye Maple that I showed.
Yeah, I was going to say I didn't think it was zebra wood. BC Gerbs was asking about that. So let's see here. Another question we had was: would you keep a Grail or a gift, or one over the other? I tend to treasure the knives that I've been gifted, whether they're a little cheap knife or whether they're an expensive knife. The gifts they have that emotional attachment to me. Grail knives, I don't really keep a running tally of Grail knives. There's knives that are nice to have for me, but I don't have some that I'm out there searching every single day for. This particular pattern or this particular year or, this particular maker. I'm kind of more collecting by the seat of my pants, as it were. How about you, Tom?
What was the question?
Question is, what would you rather keep, a Grail knife or a knife that was gifted to you?
Oh, hands down, a knife gifted to me. Hands down. It doesn't matter what kind of knife it is.
Yeah, I agree.
The thought behind it, and absolutely. There's been so much gifting going on in this community, and I was a recipient here a week or so ago of some fantastic gifts. I will cherish them. I really will.
Yeah.
I have my father-in-law's Buck 112, and my grandfather's. I got one of his Case Stockmans. And Mrs. Knife Delights has bought me knives, and other people, sent me gifts, and I cherish each and every one of them. Yep.
For sure. How about you, Harold?
Same. That's pretty easy. Yeah, it's pretty easy for me. I will not get rid of any gift. I mean, from gas station, if somebody thinks enough for me, they know I'm a knife guy, and everybody's not. They don't collect and know what we like. You know what I'm saying? They hear we're a knife guy, and to them, if you're not in this community, a knife is a knife is a knife is a knife. Whether it's gas station, you get it from the Citgo station or whatever. But not to get off on a tangent, if I am gifted a knife, I don't care if it's $5 or $250. I never get rid of it. Right. I just don't. And some of my Grails that I have acquired, if you will, acquired over the years in my past, they have came and go. They have came and gone. I've actually some that I chased and thought was just the pinnacle of my collection. I have moved on from. I have sold those, traded those, or whatever. So easy question. What would leave first? A Grail would leave first out of my collection, and never a gift. Not happening.
Yeah. What about you, Kalen?
Well, it just depends. I tend to keep gifts, but if somebody, that's the thing about knives. They keep on giving. You know, a gifted knife can always be regifted under the right circumstances, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Especially to somebody, you know, in need, or, you know,
Yes.
there's lots of reasons, but for the most part, Kalen don't play that game. Kalen will go work a few hours and pay off what needs to be paid off, and we ain't getting rid of no knives. Good trick.
I hear you. And how about you, Andrew?
Well, one, Kalen, you have gifted a lot of knives out to the community. And I really appreciate, like, everybody. It seems like everybody's gotten a really nice knife from you. That's really awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. I don't really get rid of gifted knives, but Kalen does have a point. Like, under the right circumstances, I may. And I don't have too many Grail knives, but I'd probably be more than likely to gift a Grail knife than I would a gift. But it depends on the circumstances.
Yeah.
Yep. Sounds good. All right. Next one. Is the hunt better than the catch when you're going after knives? And wow, that is a tough one, because sometimes the hunt is a whole lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times when you do get that knife that you've been working for and saving for and stuff, and you get it, then it's like, okay, I got this one. Now what's next? But yeah, I enjoy both parts. I mean, it's a lot of fun, you know, in the hunting phase. And then when you actually get the knife, to be able to get it in hand and enjoy it and stuff, that means a lot too. What about you, Tom?
Oh boy, the hunt is so much fun.
It is.
It really is. Especially, like, I've been able now a couple times to meet up with Jerry, you know, Big J, and go to especially when it's a new antique store to you, a new place, to get down on your hands and knees and pick your way through all the different cabinets and all that. Is just so much fun, and you just never know what you're going to find. So I have to say it's well, I'm being indecisive today, aren't I?
It's okay if it's not a yes or buck answer. You're having problems.
Let's say I'm 50-50. The hunt and the find are about equally as fun for me.
Yep, I would say that's true. Okay, Harold, go ahead.
Hunt. It's pretty easy for me. It's the hunt. It's the chase. Thrill of the chase. Honestly, a lot of times when I get a knife in, when I've captured said knife or what have you, not all the time do I bond with it. There's times that I get it in and I'm like, man, you chased this and thought this was the next latest greatest thing, and I get it in and I don't bond with it, and those are usually the ones that I'll move on from. You know, we'll end up in a horse trade or whatever. But
Right.
what gets my juices flowing is the hunt, is the eBay bids. You know, trying to, you know, I'm lumping all that part of the hunt. You know, the pre-acquisition of the knife, and even like after I've got a knife purchased and it's on its way, I get that euphoria, I guess. You know, you see the tracking on the mail. Hey, it's at this location. It'll be here in 2 days, or one more day. It's almost here. That's the stuff that gets me going.
Yeah, the thrill of winning an auction on eBay is pretty good. That's
Going through the mail is the part I hate. I hate that the most. I cannot stand waiting on the mail. That is, especially right now, USPS is out of control.
But you know what? I'm glad we have them, because if not, I don't know how long it would take. At least they got a system.
Well,
And,
yeah,
you
I
know,
mean,
you got to
it's
remember,
better than no
since
system,
Byron retired, it's all gone to heck. You know, he was the one keeping it going.
for sure.
And we got driver 38 over there. If you guys don't know him, Lanny McCollum, driver 38 channel. He has been 38 years a driver of UPS. So
Oh,
he
is
has
that
probably
Oh.
yeah, he has probably brought one or two of us a knife over the years. 38 years with UPS as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. What a long
So
career.
salute out to you, Mac. I call him Mac. Salute out to driver 38 today.
Get it together.
He's
I'm just
UPS
kidding.
now, not Postal Service. He's
Oh,
UPS.
he's fine then. He's all right then.
There you go.
How about you, Andrew?
I'd say the hunt, because sometimes after I've waited a couple of weeks for it to get here, and it gets here, I'll get the box, I'll set it on my back table, I'll go do some chores. Sometimes I do have to tear it open right away. But I think, yeah, once it gets here, I'm like, okay, great. What else is there?
Okay, go ahead, Tom.
Hey, Bluminati Ninja just gifted one RJ's Knives membership. And Jerome, you are the lucky recipient of that gift. Thank you, Bluminati.
Yes. Welcome to the regiment, Jerome. I think I still have your address. Let me know if you still need, if you want some more stickers or something, I'll send those out to you. That is awesome.
Yep.
And then, I'm sorry.
I was just going to make a quick comment on the hunt and the find. I don't know if anyone else has this problem, but if I like buy something in an antique store and I get it home and I make it part of my collection, it's in my collection. I'm not giving it away. I just can't give it away. But when I'm in the antique store, oh, so-and-so would love that knife. I'll buy it and I don't have a problem. But it's like once it enters the collection, it's there, man. You know, I have a hard time getting rid of knives.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Jerome, I'll get some out in the mail to you. Let's see here. Did you answer the question, Andrew?
I did, Kaylin. I think you skipped.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll go on to the next one, which is, go ahead. I thought Kaylin answered the hunt question. You didn't? Go.
It's okay. It's not a big deal. I actually enjoy them both probably the same, maybe even having the knife more. The hunt's always a thrill, of course, because you never know when you're going to get it.
Right.
You know, while you're looking for it. And, but I consider after it's already in the mail, I consider that to be, you know, the hunt's already over. You know what I mean? It's already here basically, or at least, you know, it's in my ownership. But I have to say that I probably like having the knives, you know, just as much, if not a little bit more, because, you know, you finally get it in your hand. And I don't know what y'all are doing, but when I'm buying a knife, I know that I love it already, you know, when I'm buying it, or I ain't buying it.
Oh, yeah.
But when I get it, you know, it's you know, it's time to appreciate it, you know. And I usually leave it out on my table for a week or so and make a video on it or something, or, you know, plan the video before I put it up. But even, you know, after they're put up, because everybody knows I put mine in Ziploc baggies like that. And they tend to stay there, you know, for a while. But about once a month, maybe every couple months, I'll get them all out and go through all of them, wipe them all back down. And, you know, don't just let your knives sit there, guys.
For sure. For sure. It's a good problem to have. Which knife do I take with me today? That's a good problem to have. All right, go ahead, Andrew. And I have to apologize before you start that I get distracted so easily. Just blame it on.
I already answered. You went from HT to me, but yeah, it is very hard.
Okay, I'll see.
It is very hard picking a knife. I just went away for our weeks of work, and I'm like, well, what knives am I going to bring? And I grabbed 5 or 6, but luckily I was so busy I couldn't really do any videos or shorts, and I had pre-recorded some. But yeah, like Kaylin, I do. I keep them out for a while, And well, they're all right here, but sometimes I'll just leave them out in the open to enjoy them and remember that I was waiting weeks for that knife and I was looking for it forever.
Right. Okay. Next question was our best knife purchase, and that would be my next one. Is always the best one, you know. But I am really happy with this knife that I purchased recently, and that is the Gerber Mansfield. I was really impressed with this as a working slip joint pocket clip. I was not that one. I have to adjust. It's really super tight. Lanyard hole could be a little bit bigger, in my opinion, but I'm going to get some micro cord to put through there and make a lanyard for it. But just, I think this knife is probably going to be my budget knife for this year, unless something else comes out. D2 Scandi grind, just an awesome blade. But I would say that's one of my favorite and surprising ones too. You know, because for a budget knife, it definitely is one that I didn't expect to be as good as it is. Of course, Mike. Of course, yeah. One of his greatest lately was a Tony Bose Yukon. Of course. Just make us all look bad, but that's all right. All right, Tom, do you want to tackle that one?
Well, when it's, your favorite one, it's usually one of your more recent ones. But if you asked me tomorrow, it might be a different one. But I guess of a more recent nature would be this Case Canoe.
Oh, yeah.
Bone.
Let me bring that up full screen.
I was really happy to get this one. They just did a wonderful job.
Yeah, they did.
And that's not printed on there. That's all carved out. It's raised up.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. I just love the bone on it. I love the message of it. And I love the artistry on it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That would have to be probably my most favorite purchase within the last 2 or 3 months anyway.
Very nice. Is that one carbon or is that stainless?
It's stainless. It's stainless. Yep.
That's all right. Nothing wrong with that.
All right, Harold.
Question is favorite knife. Is that
Or best knife purchase lately, or
best?
whenever,
Best knife.
whatever you want to call best.
I guess I'll just say if it were saying a recent knife purchase, I would say probably some of these Buck 110s and Buck. Yeah, I've my 112 that's older. I've had for a while. I would say I've got a couple of vintage 110s here lately at these shows and different places. That's really tripping my trigger just to have the nostalgia of pocket knife, a buck knife, which I love anyway, and have one in that time frame. That's actually a couple of them that are older than me. Not that that's old at all, but yeah, I would probably say some of my older bucks that I've just acquired kind of tripping my trigger, and I'm glad to have ran those down.
You got any on hand?
Yeah, I actually do. This you're messing me up, Kalen, because these are videos that I'm going to do later.
Well, what you got them out for?
It's okay. I'm still going to do the video.
Consider it just a preview.
Here is the one I got yesterday. Tom, you'll like this. This is a no dot. So this is just the Buck USA, and from what my understanding is, I hold it up here for you guys. But this is a 19. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tom. 67 through 72. That
If
is
the
the second.
stamp is upside down, that's correct.
It's the second oldest, I believe. There's the 61 through 67, and then there's this. So that is which I don't have one of those.
Does
I
it-
don't have one of those. Actually, the
Does it-
guy in front of me. Go ahead, Tom.
Is it a single line?
It is
Just says
just Buck. No, this is the Buck USA. Just
Okay,
this,
so 67 to 72 probably.
yes. Yep, exactly.
And
There's the
upside
older,
down, too.
the one that says Buck only, from my understanding, is the earliest ones, the 61 through what, 66.
67.
And there was a guy right in front of me that actually got one. There was 4 knives there, and I got 3 of the 4. But the guy in front of me got the oldest one, and it's the one that just had Buck, and it was it was kind of beat up. I probably would have sent that back in. Maybe the blade was a little wobbly on it, but I mean, he let me look. I tried to buy it off of him after he bought it, but that wasn't happening. But I was able. This is now my oldest Buck 110, and
That's a
like I
good
say, 67 through 72. So
Yep.
it's older than I am. So
There you
pretty
go.
glad to have that one.
Very cool.
Video coming, Kaylin, if you didn't mess me up.
I think we
Just
all
kidding, buddy.
we're up every once in a while.
I know.
That's okay.
I know.
Go ahead, Kaylin. What you got?
All I was trying to clarify was that tank stamp is actually compared to the, your modern buck knife, which it says Buck 110 right side up when it's open. His will say it upside down when it's open.
He's absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah, reverse.
Yeah, that's all I was trying to say.
You want to put me up there real quick, RJ? If you want to throw me up real quick, I'll show that.
Go ahead.
There you go.
There's what Kaylin's talking about right there. This is the old. This is the old guy that is, how do you say, upside down, inverted, and this is actually a 87 more newer one. I forget what this is, but yeah, that's what he's talking about.
And the one I had was actually quite a bit thinner than the more modern ones as well. The 67 to 72.
Yeah, they're definitely the blocky style before they chamfered everything, which to me is still, believe it or not, still just as comfortable. I haven't found a Buck 110 or Buck 112 that's not comfortable. Blocky, chamfered, whatever. That could be just me. It could be my mileage, but there's never been a Buck 110 or 112 that's been made, in my opinion, that's not been completely ergonomic and comfortable.
Definitely.
That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. They were both comfortable to hold.
Yep.
I would have to say that my best purchase this year, and it was multiple purchases to acquire this, but I have acquired an entire collection of Redbone Select knives from Case, and this was the second one I purchased. The first one I purchased was the fixed blade, and I had purchased that last year, so y'all have all seen that plenty of times. But this is a copper lock, full size, 1998, with a Select shield and a Select tank stamp there. But has some of the prettiest red bone. I like the front side better, obviously. It's not a little bit darker and whatnot. But just show y'all real quick. I'm sorry?
I think he stepped away.
Oh, no worries, no worries.
I'm back.
Here's
Go ahead.
a Trapper, same Case Select, 1998. But yeah, it finished out a really nice collection. Here's a 47 pattern. So those were my best purchases this year, and I'll conglomerate those into one purchase because it's one collection of knives. So
What about you, Andrew?
Kaylin, what was that last trapper you showed in the bag? It looked like it had like a long pole.
it did. Good eye, sir.
It looked like a kind of a copper lock trapper or something.
It even has a wedge.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what the Case Select decided to do for these knives. They all got, the copper lock already had the swedge and the long pull, so they kept that standard with that, and they gave it to all the rest of them.
What a great looking trapper. I've never seen one of those.
And the spade blade's just normal, but
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, it's super nice. Super nice.
What a unique trapper.
But keep an
Uh,
eye out. They're out there, for sure.
Yeah.
They're on eBay.
I'll have to check
Definitely.
it out. Favorite knife purchases. Oh, it's really tough.
It is. That's a hard one to go with.
There's so many Tony Bows and everything. My 6.5 full size Warncliffe Trapper is one of my absolute favorites. I've been really into the 6.5s. Sure, it's stainless, which doesn't really bother me, but a Trapper with a Warncliffe and 6.5 has got to be one of my favorites. Now, I'm a huge Buck 110 fan, but one of my favorites was my 112. Really made me happy, and I still want to make a custom 110, but I just keep buying 110, so I'm holding off on that, and I can't decide between what wood and buffalo horn or elk. Another one I've been just happy with is just the full-size copper box with carbon steel. Just really happy with the thinness, the size. I'm really happy that they brought them back. And most of the case carbon steel knives I'm happy with. Like, I'm really glad they brought the Barlow back, because these were hard to find, and now they're popping up. So I'm really happy with like all the Barlows, but specifically the carbon steel ones. I really like the patina, the ease of sharpening, which isn't way different than the stainless steel, but it doesn't take much to get these razor sharp. And like I said, like the Tony Bows, the Panama Trapper I got. I recently picked up a couple of Sow Belly Stockmans. All my knives I'm pretty happy with, but I'd say those were the top four.
Yeah. All good ones. Every single one of them. All right. So the next question was, how many slips did you have last year, and does it compare to how many slips you have this year? My slip collection has grown steadily year after year. I don't have a count on them, but to say that I have a pile of them would be a fair statement. But I haven't gotten any new ones since last year. That's for sure. I think most of the slips I have are still the ones that I had. So now I don't know if you were looking for a number or just has it increased, but yes, it does. It keeps increasing, year after year after year. That's for sure.
We keep getting so many. A leather worker pops up a week, it seems like, in our community. So
It's hard not to get new slips.
and you got to try them, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of good ones. Oh yeah, Jerome, your secret is safe with us. Yeah. So there you go. I don't know if you guys wanted to answer any more in depth than that or not, but
I will.
okay.
Yeah, when I first started, I didn't have very many slips, but I was kind of cheap, and there wasn't as many leather workers in the community. I think it was just Georgia and J.O. And so I would just pick up these cheap Rough Riders just to have something to throw my knife in to protect it. And these were like $2-3. I'd get like a case sheath. But then, the last year it went crazy. Of course, I reached out to J.O. Ventures. He does amazing work. He was one of the first ones I reached out to. I had more than a few custom slips made by him. And because I would see his traveling knives, and I was just really impressed with the quality. And he actually has gifted me multiple slips. And of course, SD Leatherwork sent me this Tiger slip. It's a large one I keep for my hawkbills. And Randy's WSG has been getting into it. Beautiful blue with the octopus or the kraken on it. It's an awesome slip. And even Ken of Last Chance Knives, he made me a really nice quality leather slip that just, it holds my trappers, my larger knives. I can put a 75 in here. Just really well made.
That's nice.
Yeah, so now I have so many slips that Now when I give away a knife, I'll throw in a Rough Rider slip because I have so many.
Hey, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's a good thing to do.
Yeah, just to have something.
Recycle the love. Yeah.
I can
Hey,
show a few
RJ,
Yes, sir.
just real quick, these are the channels that are in the chat today. If I miss someone, please let me know. I'll get a link up to your channel. But we got Old Farts Knives, got Mike Curtis, we got Big E, we got RDS Wood Turning, Addicted Blades 2, Kirby Creek Outfit, Jesse McJames, Singing Toad, Big J, BC Gerbs, Georgia Adventurer, and Terry's Knives and Man Stuff. Have I missed anyone? Other than our panel.
I'm not seeing anything pop up in the chat, so I guess you must have got them all.
Okay.
And shout out to Terry. We miss you today, buddy.
Yeah.
Where are you?
Probably mowing that grass.
He said he's out there planting stuff today. Just finished
planting
his planting, so
That's cool.
I'm glad he could come and get a chance to sit down and chat with us and listen in.
Miss you, buddy.
Did anybody else want to say anything about slips, or have we got that covered?
No, but can I go back to favorite purchases?
In a second, let me let Kaylin go with slips, and then we'll come back
You
to
bet.
you. I don't want to skip Kaylin twice, so I'll get in trouble.
See, you're learning.
That's right.
I never really carried a slip up until about last year. But I purchased a knife on eBay, and the guy sent me a sock slip, which I thought was really cool. Which, you can get these at Tractor Supply in a pack for like $5 or $10, so 5 or something like that. And that one has a little flap on it, which I thought was cool. And I bought another knife from him, and he sent me another one. Like I said, I don't know if he's making these himself or what. I know you can buy them. This one doesn't have a flap on it. I did buy a case knife. Came with a sheath, which is really cool. You don't always get that. Mikey sent me a twisted assisted knife, and it came with this slip with a clip on it, which I thought was really cool. Just a really nice thick leather, well manufactured. I don't know that it's custom or anything or handmade, but
yeah, those clip slips are hard to come by, and they're really expensive if you go to buy them. My friend's been looking for one, and they're really expensive. Probably because they added hardware and stuff, but
right. But yeah, everybody knows Randy's WSG is really good at making slips. I have 3 from him.
Nice.
I have this little bit thinner leather. It's got some cow horns on it and stuff like that, cow skulls. Always like stuff like that. This is another one he sent me at the same time. It's thicker. I like putting my sway backs and my smaller knives, my mini copper locks, stuff like that. It's great for. Obviously the thinner leather, that's better for like a synthetic sod buster or something that's a little bit thicker. And then I haven't had a chance to do anything with this one yet. It's still she's still flat and ready, brand new, ready for a knife. So don't know what I'm going to put in that one. GR Knives and Outdoors has made some slips, and he sent me one for a trapper with a deer head on there, which is really nice in this little lanyard that he made. And obviously another great leather worker out there is Richter Knives. This is my saddle horn slip, and just quality. I wet formed this one, so it stays that shape, and great leather work though. Keep it up, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Nice.
I got a quick shout out, RJ, if I have about 10 seconds. Sanctified, Stephen over at Sanctified EDC. He has just came out, and I think now, I hope I'm not misquoting you, Stephen, that you're actually selling some of your leather work now. And folks, if you hadn't seen that, he's got a lot of shorts on those on the on YouTube. and this guy has came out swinging. If you look at his leather work, his stitching, the quality, and I can't believe it. I mean, I think he's been mentored. I know he talks about Richter in Georgia, and whatever he has watched and learned or what have you, this young man is killing it. I'd love to get a hold of one of his slips. May have to buy one myself, but from what I've seen early on from Sanctified EDC, they're nice folks. Two thumbs up from HT, top shelf, buddy.
Very
Right
nice.
on.
And I can't forget Sarah over at SD Leatherworks. She made this for me. So
Yep.
She made a killer one for 865. Have y'all seen that one? From 865 Knives, Miss Sarah.
oh yeah.
That thing was next level. Kudos to you, Miss Sarah, on that one. I hadn't seen one quite like that, and I know he's stoked. Me and Aaron talk all the time, and that was a killer piece of leather right there.
Baxter, show it again.
What am I showing?
The SD
Oh.
Leatherworks.
Yes. Yeah, and actually, Big J has a really cool one. I thought it was white dyed, but it's a white wax, and I thought that was very cool and unique, and it gets wear on it, and a lot of Sarah's the leather's lighter, and actually I haven't oiled this one because it does darken a lot. So being a lighter leather, I want to keep this, but I like all the stamps, all these little like eyelashes and stuff. It reminds me of my mom's clogs from the 70s, the leather clogs that she used to have, which is really cool. And then she has a really cool maker's mark here with the flag.
Absolutely. Terry actually got a killer one as well. from
Oh,
her.
I'm sure. Yeah. But I do. So she had gifted this one to me. I definitely want to order one or two from her. But like I said, I kind of have
Yes.
so many.
The
You can never have
question,
too many slips, just like you can never have too many knives, right?
No, not at all.
there was a question if you knew what kind of leather that slip was made out of. I don't know if you know
The
that.
one from SD Leatherwork?
Yeah.
No, but it is really nice. It's really nice and thick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really good quality leather. And that's what's interesting about getting them from JO and Randy and SD. Like the leather varies, and they have different types of leather. So
Right.
I think Big J's in the chat. So didn't you say RJ? Maybe he can shed some light on that one.
Maybe. If you know Big J, if you can find out what leather was used on that, that'd be awesome. Just throw that in the chat. But yeah, he's there, and he said that she appreciates the awesome feedback. So that's good news. All right, Tom, did you want to go ahead with what you had?
Yeah, I wanted to backtrack a little bit on favorite knife purchase. I had one sitting right beside me. This has got to be a favorite one too. Buck 110. It's so shiny you can't see it.
oh wow.
It's a commemorative knife for the U.S. battleship USS Iowa. One of 100.
That is nice.
That is the definition of mirror polish, folks.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. And it's I can't remember a green wood.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
even the wood is shiny on that.
Oh wow, yeah, I've never seen a greenwood. That's cool.
Yep.
Very nice, Tom. Killer.
And Big J says that was a full grain leather 7 to 9 ounce from Tandy for that slip that Andrew had.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So just for edification, I never served on the Iowa. She did come out of mothballs along with the New Jersey back in the 80s. I tried to get orders to her and did not get orders. Then they had the explosion on it, and they retired her and put her back into mothballs. She's now a museum out in Los Angeles. So if you ever have a chance to tour a battleship, be it this one or the New Jersey or Wisconsin, man, they are just awesome vessels. And if you happen to be from Iowa, because the Iowa legislature donated money for the Iowa Battleship Museum, show your Iowa driver's license, you get free admission. So
That's good.
that's
And then-
another favorite knife. Just real quick, I've got handy this slip that was made for me by J.O. Ventures, John, and put Knife Delights on the back, and got this nice Rough Rider Reserve Barlow that Jersey Knife Guy gifted to me. And then Terrell Snyder commissioned John to make some, it's not really a slip, but it's a scout carry sheath. And I carry this nice Marbles ram horn toothpick in it.
Oh yeah.
I love ram's horn. I'd like to find some more knives in ram's horn one of these days. But thank you again, Terrell. I saw him in the chat earlier, and he had John make several of these as gifts to others too. So thanks, Terrell.
Terrell's a good dude. Yes.
Oh yes,
For sure.
oh absolutely.
Okay. So I don't know about this next question. It said biggest knife disappointment. I don't think I can point to one that's a disappointment for me because they all have been they've all been pretty good, you know.
That's a good question.
But yeah, I mean, there's some that like that. I guess a disappointment for me would be when I first got that Case American Workman Series 75, and I had to adjust the kick on it. But actually, working on the knife made it one of my favorites. You know, being able to do the repair. So it kind of, you know, took a what might be a disappointment right out of the box, but then it turned into one of my favorite knives. You know, because I was able to adjust it and fix it, and so I ended up liking it even more. So I don't really have a lot of disappointments, I must say. How about you, Tom?
Go ahead and skip to others. I'm digging my disappointment out.
Oh, okay. Must be something I sent you. Go
Probably.
ahead, Harold. And Jesse, we kind of covered favorite cover materials a little earlier when we did the wood versus bone cover question.
Yeah, because my favorite would not be it was wood versus bone, but that was not my favorite. Yeah, favorite would be different. My favorite is everybody knows I'm a stag guy.
You're a stag.
So if it was favorite, that's easy for me. It's good stag or like elkhorn or what have you. The bone, the antler is my sweet spot.
Right.
Well, I'm ready. If
Okay. Well, go right ahead.
a disappointment, yeah, this will shock everybody, but it's a buck. And this is a 303 Cadet in the Rosewood. And the reason I'm disappointed is this sheep's foot has no walk and talk to it whatsoever. Look at that. You almost got to push it into place.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And overall, I got to say, in some of their Stockmans, it's painful to admit, some of them are awful soft.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just, it snaps shut, but there's just no snap there. And yeah. So yeah, I love the rosewood and the blue buck shield on it. It's a beautiful knife, but it's lacking in walk and talk.
I noticed the same thing when I was at the Buck Factory and Buck's shop. I was looking at their slip joints, and they had some good ones. And then she pulled out, I think it was the 301, the larger Stockman, to show me.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't believe it. The blades didn't even want to close on their own. I almost pulled the case knife out of my pocket and say, "Hey, this is how you make a slip joint with walk and talk." But I kept my mouth shut.
Oh, boy.
Showing me.
I don't know if it's because on their Stockmans they use the 3 springs and they're using weaker springs since they have 3 of them. I don't know what it is, but I am disappointed overall in the 301s and the 303s. I got a Wrangler that was probably made by Camillus, and boy, that thing snaps, but I don't know why they just don't have walk and talk on their knives, on the recent knives, I guess you would say.
Does your Camillus have 3 or 2 springs?
Mine?
Yes, sir.
It's a 2 spring. It's a
2 spring.
I'm pretty sure.
I would
Let me dig it out here and
absolutely
just make sure.
I would suspect that the 3 spring versus 2 spring would have something to do with it. I have several Case 47 patterns from the 90s and some older than that with 2 springs. The 90s have 3 springs, and the 3 spring cases they have weaker snap than the 2 spring ones for sure.
Here's the 307 Wrangler, made somewhere between 72 and 86. And you can tell by the French pole on it was made by Camillus, but
Oh yeah,
it
She
is 2 springs.
very nice.
Yep. So yeah. Good snap on that one.
Absolutely.
Good deal. Harold, how about you?
Well, kind of not fair as far, we're still on the worst purchase or whatever.
Just anything.
Most disappointing knife.
Yeah.
Most. I could say that Rough Rider Appaloosa, the double nail nick, but it's a $15-$20 knife, and that's kind of, to me, pouncing on a budget knife anyway. But when I got that one, I was collecting kind of that series. I don't think I got every one of them, but I got 5 or 6 from that Black Appaloosa Spade series on the Rough Rider, and they all had been really stellar. I mean, they were kind of batting 1,000. I was really happy with the ones I got. But that spear point, I forget what it's called now, but it had the double needle neck, the spear point. When I got that, I had to 2 days trying to get some walk and talk. It had a terrible half. It really didn't even have a half stop. Kind of like Tom was talking about. You just had to push it into what should be a half stop. But folks, it's a $15 knife. That's kind of beating on a, it's $15,
Right.
But and an update on that, I was able to get a half stop with some elbow grease and a couple of days of cleaning and lubing and working the pivot. It is operable, and we have a half stop now. But that $15 knife, that was a disappointment out of the box. If you even want to complain about that.
I think really the main complaint is that the design should not have included the second nail nick.
Absolutely,
That's the problem, or wasn't it also an easy open design too? So it had the cutout in the front.
Yeah, totally redundant. Yeah, it was an easy open that had 2 nail nicks.
Yeah, I mean, it's like how many
Easy open.
fingers did you need to get on it to open it? It's kind of crazy. But
Yep.
All right, we'll go ahead with you, Kaylin.
Most disappointing knife. Well, I guess I could show 2. One's a purchase. One was a gift that I had sent off to Case for repair, and we'll go with the eBay purchase first. The only thing I have bad to say about it is the eBay seller just wasn't very honest about the knife when he sold it to me. It's got a bit of blade wobble there, which he wasn't upfront about, and the handles were all but just chipping away and completely dry. Stag handles on this Barlow. It's a J.A. Hinkles Barlow and Stag, but really, other than that, it's a great knife. If the seller would have just have been a bit more honest, it wouldn't have been as disappointing of a purchase. But still got it at a great price. I think I gave around $50 for it, but You know,
Right.
when you get a knife like this that has blade wobble, you know, it's been, you know, somebody's pride with it, you know, and that's just be honest about it, you know, just say what's really there, you know. But
Yeah.
the other one is a repair job by Case, and most of y'all are familiar with this knife. 6318 pattern. Both of these blades are brand new. Let's see. Did he replace? Yep. They replaced them correctly with CV blades. That was big for me. They did a great job on that. The only thing was that when you close the blades, you get that.
Yeah.
She closes on top of the spay blade. So, and you know, same thing. Once you get it in position, it don't even want to snap into place. You just got to tap it down, and somehow when they put the knife back together, nothing.
Yeah.
No snap. It had snap when it went in, but the main blade has no snap now. So go figure. Careful with your repair jobs at Case. It's the only one I've had repaired, so obviously I'm very biased now with the repair jobs. I actually am planning on sending another one in to them. First, I'm going to see what they say about it first. If you give me just a second, I can go in a little bit more depth because it is a very, very cool knife. It is a 6344 Stockman from 1920 to 1940. And this is the pile side. And look how nice those blades are. 1920, 1940. Brown bone or green bone. Hard to say. But this is the issue. That is the issue. Which isn't a big deal. I have some I actually have some scales that I'm going to send them photos of. It's a green bone scale from a 75 pattern from the same years. 20 to 40. So it being, you know, enough real estate on a 75, I'm going to see if they have enough bone from that slab that I'm going to send them just to rehandle it. It's very close. It's very, very close. Same jig. The color's just, like I said, very close to it. So we'll see what happens with that. And hopefully, if they tell me that they're going to send me a gift card instead of this, obviously I'm not going to do that. I will wait till I'm a bit more proficient in putting knives back together, and I will give it a go myself if that's the case. So, no pun intended.
Definitely you're reaching out to them and show them before you send it. My friend sent them an old small Stockman with a broken blade. And they basically just offered him a gift card, and which is unfortunate. But I'm sure putting a cover back on might be pretty easy for them, and they might just do it. But that's an older case. I'd be really scared to send that to them until you get like verification.
Exactly. Yeah, that's going to happen first for sure.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Tom, I'm sure you saw the comment there, and that's got to be definitely a disappointing deal for you. But
I was going to say conversely, RJ, if you have a beautiful knife that has just premier bone, whatever trips your trigger, it is just a knife that you think is so beautiful. And there's nothing worse. When I was talking about that perfect half stop, that perfect walk and talk, that audibility, those acoustics, when you get one that's just tuned right, there's on the flip side of that, there's nothing worse than getting a beautiful knife that is just gorgeous aesthetically. Everything on the exterior is perfect and pristine, and it has terrible action. It's supposed to have a half stop. It's supposed to have, walk and talk. There's half stops on it, and it's just miserable. Right. It's lazy. And it just, what a disappointment for a knife that could have been, just immaculate.
Exactly.
Good, Tom.
Tom, Andrew was going to answer the question, and we'll come back to you.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Andrew.
No major disappointments. I did get a Coke bottle Copperhead from Frost that had really horrible walk and talk, but it was a $7 knife, so it wasn't that big of a disappointment. I did pick up the new case vault pattern razor in 6.5. This one isn't it. The one I got was exceptionally nice. And the only problem was it had up and down blade play. And I was like, that's not really acceptable. So I reached out to Red Hills and they were able to exchange it. So not a huge disappointment. And this one, no up and down blade play, perfectly centered blades. I yet to do a review, but I get it on the pile side there. You can see there's a little chip in the bone right there, but very minor. I mean, these are rustic looking knives anyways. So I may try to put a little burn on that, but at least it has no up and down blade play, and the blades are centered, and there's no gaps. So minor disappointment, but no big deal. At least they sent me another one. I've been really happy with these Queen Barlows, the red bone, the green bone, and I wasn't going to get their stag because it was a little pricey, but I recently ordered one from Chicago Knife Works, and so I already had one. So I get the package when I get back from my trip, and they sent me another green bone by mistake. So, not disappointed with the knife, but disappointed in Chicago Knife Works that they didn't look at the part number on the back. But again, they're really nice. They said, "Hey, send back the green bone. This isn't it. This is mine. I left it in the package, and we'll send you a stag Barlow." So. I mean, I think they should probably just send me one, and of course I will send it. But so I get to wait another few more weeks before I get that. But right. Fantastic knives, and everything's just maybe a minor disappointment. And when I get a knife with a serious issue, I've reached out. Like HT has reached out to Red Hills, and they generally make it right.
I've had two different vendors handle that same situation two different ways. I've had like Red Hills. We'll brag on Red Hills. I won't talk about the one that wasn't good, but Red Hills, yes. I had one that came in that had horrible. It was rubbing, horrible centering, and when I say horrible, it was rubbing the liner. So it was one that was going to potentially scratch the knife, opening and closing it, and dull it too, possibly. But anyway, it was bad. It wasn't just a little off. But anyway, they took care of me. They got another one. They had 3 more of the knife that I had purchased. She looked it up, said, "Yeah, we have 3 of those in stock." She personally went back there and said, "I'm gonna put my eyeballs on those 3 and send you the best one, and you send me yours back whenever." And she had hers coming to me, a new one coming to me before I ever, the next day I had to get the print a shipping label. My wife had to print it at work and, box it up and get hers back, the bad one back to her. But that's just good customer service right there. I mean, I'll go put my eyeballs on it. I will hand pick you. I only got 3 more to choose from, but I'm going to get you the best one. We're going to take care of you. And she had her knife coming back to me in the mail the same day. Same day I called. That's good cut. From where I sit, that's stellar customer service.
Yeah. Okay, Tom.
Well, I was just going to say I picked on Buck, so equal opportunity case. Now, when I first got my first couple of Case Stockmans, they had pretty bad blade rub on them. Well, then, figuring they're trying to fit 3 blades into a little tight package there. Okay, I can live with it, even though I can buy a $10 budget knife and no blade rub on a Stockman. But it was like, okay, I'm good with it. I'll live with it. And like HT said, you get a knife that looks absolutely gorgeous and it looks perfect in every way. And this is a single blade knife. And guess what? It's not horrible, but it does have some blade rub right here. I can see it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So how do you get blade rub? Okay, I can understand a Stockman squeezing the blades, whatever. But, a single bladed knife.
Yeah, there's a lot of blade channel to not have it scrubbing on a single blade.
Exactly. And it's not horrible, but still, you spend, on this knife, you spend $70, $80.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of disappointing. Now, I didn't try to send it back because, it's got the ICTA shield, and I'm afraid I send it back, and then they say they're out of them, and they try to replace it with something else. And so I've kept it, and I live with it, but, that's a little disappointing. It's perfect in every other way, good snap. And so, yeah, I'll
Yep.
pick on Case.
Okay. Well, then our next question is kind of one that is kind of different. The question is, do you prefer to trade knives or buy knives? And I would say that I don't really have a lot of opportunity to trade knives. I don't have very many people ask me to trade knives, but I do buy knives. So how about you guys? Tom?
Well, I would say probably buy. I don't do a lot of trading, and I refer back to my remarks earlier. Once a knife is in my collection, it's there to stay pretty much. I just can't seem to let go of things. I guess I'm being selfish. I don't know. So I guess I prefer to buy them. Although if the opportunity to make a good trade comes up, I'm sure I'm open to it. But I pretty much just buy them.
What about you, HT?
I've been known to be a horse trader, but I would say I buy 80-20, more of a purchaser. I buy a lot more than I trade. Kind of got to know, for you guys that do trade, you kind of got to know who you're trading with.
Right.
I had one when I was in the modern world that I did a trade and I got burned seriously one time, and that put a damper, kind of a halt on my trading. And now if I do a trade, which I will and have and will again, I got to have a rapport with you. We know each other, and both parties, a good trade, the first thing in a good trade is both parties come away happy. And if one or the other, if you trade with me and when you get what I sent you in the horse trade and you're not happy, that's not a good trade. We're going to back it up and we're going to make it right. But usually we've sent pictures, videos, what have you. Getting off on a tangent, 80% I'm a buyer more so, but I will horse trade, and just know who you're trading with out there would be if you do get in the trade market, know who you're trading with and have a rapport with them. And you can get some good stuff like that. I mean, I do. I got a buddy. I got a good buddy I'm thinking of right now. He knows who he is. I carried his knife yesterday at the blade show, one of my buck 110s, and me and him, we horse trade, and he's a good guy, and we have a rapport. But if you're gonna do it, get a rapport with your trade partners. My advice.
And what about you, Kalen?
Well, singing a different tune. I trade with all kinds of people. A lot of guys reach out to me on my YouTube channel, and I don't really know them or anything, but they want to trade with me, so I'm happy to oblige. And if I don't like the knife that they trade me, I have an eBay store, so I just sell it. It's not a big deal. Once it's my knife, it's my knife to do with what I want.
Right.
But for the most part, I don't know. I do a lot of buying, but I also do a lot of trading, just with guys that I already know, who we got the same taste, or they're looking for stuff that I know they're looking for. They find something that I like, they'll buy it for me and we'll trade or whatever, or just pay cash for it. If we don't have anything to trade at the time, I'll just, we'll buy it or sell it.
Right.
But yeah, I'd say probably pretty close to half and half for me. I do a lot of flea marketing, and that's just a lot of bartering out there. So for the most part, if you're smart.
What about you, Andrew?
I pretty much buy. I do not trade very much. I have traded JO Ventures a few knives for some slips. One of them I had two of, and one of them I purchased a case synthetic for him to trade because which was worth more than the slip, but I just was so grateful that he was giving me all these slips. I'm like, oh, I want to get you a case carbon steel. I've had people out in the community and other people ask me, hey, I want a trapper. I think RH asked, he wanted a trapper, and I just can't get rid of any of them. But I did say, hey, if you got a full-size copper lock, I might be interested, but not very many people have those. I'm looking for like maybe a lizard skin full size or any carbon steel, and luckily Case is releasing more of them, but I don't want to get rid of any of the knives that I've gotten. I may trade an old Rough Rider and then buy it again. I gifted Randy a green Frost Barlow because his channel color is green and he likes Barlows, and then eventually I went out and rebought that one so I'd have it back in my collection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't bear to part with anything yet. Maybe when I'm older and maybe there's a few that I don't use as much, I may consider it. But I do throw it out to people like, hey, if you have this and this, I may consider it. But I'd probably end up going out and rebuying what I traded them just to have it again. If it's
How much older can you get when your nickname is Old Man Baxter?
I don't know. I'm turning 50 in May. That's not very old, but older than I thought I'd be. So, yeah.
I hear you. Well, I hope you got a lot more old life left in you.
Can I say one thing?
Oh, yes, sir.
I do a lot of buying and trading, both with Tennessee Valley Knives on eBay.
Okay.
That's a great store to go check out. He's got some great stuff. He gets knives all the time. That's where I do a lot of my buying from, if anybody wants to know. And I'm not worried about him running out, people going and buying all the knives or anything. The guy's got an insane amount of knives every week.
Do you want to throw up a link for that, Tom? I don't know if you
I will
can.
try to find that. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just Tennessee Valley Knives on eBay. And like I said, he starts all of his auctions at like $9.99. So it's really fair to get in there and battle it out with people. So you're not starting at really high bids or anything with him. No reserves. Really fair guy.
And
Been very
then
pleased with him.
if we can get a link to your store also, Kaylin, because Jesse
I
McJames
think-
wanted to know how to get there.
It's the same as my channel name, Gunslinger. Tell you what, I don't remember it exactly. I will post on my channel, my store here in just a little bit. I'll do a community post or something, and I will post that for everyone. If you just want to check out my page later on.
Yeah, awesome.
I
Because
apologize for not having that handy.
I know a lot of guys would be interested in taking a look at what you have to sell because you usually come across some really great stuff.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to list some knives today, so it'd be a good day to check it out.
Awesome. Okay, Jesse. So there's your answer, Kaylin. Check out Kaylin's channel later, and he will have the link to his eBay store listed there. So fantastic. Okay, good deal. All right. So this is kind of a question that I don't know the answer to. It was in there. Someone wanted to know if there's anyone that makes pocket organizers. And so I'm guessing that would be for our leather workers. I don't know of any of them that do that in particular, but I think that probably if you go to any of those guys with the ideas, they can probably make that for you.
No, Georgia has.
Yeah.
Georgia,
Adventure has. You're right.
I don't know if he has in the past.
Yep.
Just one that comes to my mind. Might have some on his Etsy channel as we speak. Matter of fact, I think I saw one last time I was on his Etsy page.
Okay, good. That's good to know. All right. And then there was a question about church carry, about what kind of, if you go to church, what kind of knife do you carry when you go to church? And I know Tom can probably answer this one. usually just whatever I throw in my pocket. I don't have a particular, special, church knife. It just will typically be, something probably in the 3-inch range or smaller, closed. I don't really go there with a big giant bruiser on my hip or something, but something that's nice. Yeah, Mike Curtis says the Case Peanut. That's always a good one. But yeah, go ahead, Tom. Do you have something you want to show?
Well, I typically have a pew pew on my belt and some other equipment, shall we say? And but I like to have a fixed blade, so I usually have a neck knife on. I also got some boot knives. I'll carry a boot knife, and then just my normal slip joint carry. Just rotate in and out a slip joint. So.
Yeah, very good. HT?
Yeah, church. I'm assuming that is church / special occasion. Something. I've got a lot of I have a lot of what I call gentleman's knives, classy knives, if you will.
Right.
What's one that comes to mind? Maybe a nice stag, one of my nice stag folders, something like that. I got a lot of lion steel, the Italian that kind of have the crown spines, in stag. To me, that's very classy. Like you said, like Tom says, you don't want to go in, you don't want to be gaudy, or to each his own, but I kind of want to be a little more minimalistic in my church or my, special occasion carry. So I'd probably say a small folder, maybe something nice and stag, maybe one of my Italian stag knives, lion steel, something like that.
Right. Okay, Kaylin?
For a church carry, it's going to be something in pearl, probably. Something like this. Fighting Rooster pearl.
Yeah, let me bring that up. There you go.
But yeah, minimalistic as possible, but as as pretty as possible at the same time.
Right.
Something
Exactly.
like this would be a great carry for church. I was gifted a knife by Martin over at Steel City Knives in the UK, and that extraordinary gentleman gifted me a great church carry. This is this is an IXL. However y'all pronounce that.
Woostelhome, is that?
There you go. That'll work. But it's a gorgeous little pen knife, cigar equal end pen knife in pearl, and phenomenal. He also gifted me a book as well, and is very appreciative of him. But
Nice.
yeah, I love pearl or like Harold was saying, any stag,
Right.
something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah, very nice.
But yeah, that's what I would carry. Or like Rod said, you just whatever you decide to pick up.
Yeah, exactly.
we don't carry ugly knives on the general, so it's probably not going to be too hard.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We generally don't pick out ugly knives, anyways. So,
We think they're all classy and beautiful.
yeah, exactly. Okay, how about you, Andrew?
I'm having technical difficulties. I see the chat's blocking my whole screen. I can't see anybody, and I'm trying to figure out how to get out of it. So I missed the question. What was the question?
Oh, okay. The
I can't see anybody. I got this big white screen and chats in front of me, and I'm trying to.
We can see you just fine.
we
Oh,
see
was
you,
it-
so
Was it the church carry or something? What was the
church
question?
carry or special occasion carry?
So can you guys see me? Because I can't see anybody.
Yes, we
Yes,
can
we
see
can
you.
see you just fine.
My Purple Barn Board Warrenclyffe Copper Lock is a special carry.
Nice.
For some reason, just this white synthetic Case Mini Trapper, probably because it's white and clean. I'll wear it when I'm wearing a white collared shirt. I like to take that one out. It's very just clean looking, not a bunch of burnt hot dog looking bone or rustic looking. And yeah, and I'd say maybe my Tony Bowes teardrop would
Yeah.
be like a church carry, or going out to a nice restaurant, thin, slim,
Yep.
nice,
Gentlemanly.
yeah.
What color is that one? That teardrop.
I think they said it's old red bone.
Okay. Up just a hair.
It's smooth.
Yeah,
Oh,
bring-
sorry.
There you go. There you go. You got it.
Yeah, it's like I think it's just old red smooth bone, and it's
Nice.
got a PVD blade on it. So that would be my fine carries, and generally, or just maybe a small little Coke bottle. Sometimes if I'm just going out to dinner and just want something small to drop in the pocket, maybe some of my smaller knives.
Right. Exactly. Okay. And then the last question I have that's written down it's actually pretty easy. They said, yellow Delrin, yes or no? I think you already know my answer is definitely a yes. It's almost a lightning round question. Yep. Tom is a yes. Harold?
Give me just a second. I can't.
I got
Yes.
more around.
Yesterday.
There you go.
I'm a yes.
There's a dark yellow.
Yeah. Kalen sold all his for Redbone though. So that's okay.
I got no
Sorry.
problem with the Delrin.
But you still like them, right? You still like the yellow Delrin, or
I'll
Yeah, no, you-
tolerate them. I will tolerate them.
you'll tolerate them? Okay. What about you, Andrew?
Yeah, I have two. I have hopefully you can see me still. My
Yes.
Yeah.
carbon steel yellow Delrin Trapper. And I'm not a huge yellow Delrin. I prefer like a yellow smooth bone, but I never thought I'd like them that much. But they are very classic. And then
Yeah.
of course,
Yes.
Kaylin gifted me this 18 HE Stockman in yellow Delrin. This is awesome. I just did a video of it at my Saturday Stockman Stampede comparing it to a modern, and I forgot to mention the liners. The liners aren't. I don't think they're brass. Like maybe the center one is brass, but the outlining ones, they look like the
They're
nickel
stainless.
silver. Yeah, they are
They're
stainless.
They are stainless. Yeah.
And this is just an awesome classic 74. Thank you, Kaylin, for that. And
Yeah.
so
you're welcome.
I'm not. Yeah, I don't have. I prefer bone, micarta, and wood anytime over Delrin, but I do have a few just to rub into Randy's face.
I like the yellow Delrin because it is classic, and those are generally my users in a case pattern knife. I will tend to carry those and use those knives more than one that's in the bone, or something that's a little prettier.
I got a case junior sod buster with the yellow Delrin, and I love it. It must be down in
Yeah.
the basement. I don't see it here.
Yeah, they're just it's just a classic look for a case knife.
Mhm.
Plus it's something that, just like the amber peach seed jig bone, you can find almost all their patterns in a yellow Delrin. So, all right. Well, that seems like that was it for the questions. Did anybody else have any questions while we're here in the chat room? Something we didn't cover, or something you wanted to talk about? And I know Mike Curtis likes the yellow Delrin. He told me that when you try out a case knife, he usually goes for the yellow Delrin first. So I always remembered that, Mike. It was good advice.
Does anybody want to see some new knife purchases? I know Mike wants to see one in particular.
Well,
I have.
I think that we always want to see new knife purchases.
Got a really cool little purchase here. It's a 1979 serialed, numbered Appaloosa Bone Peanut. It says Case, and it has Appaloosa there on the blade. Like I said, 1979 was the first year that they started putting A there on the tank stamp, and I actually learned that from the gentleman over at Tennessee Valley Knives. He's quite knowledgeable as well. But yeah, it has the easy open there on the pin blade, and just a phenomenal knife. I've just recently got into these Appaloosa smooth bones from Case, and they are just something else. I also picked up, got this one at the flea market. I think I gave like 20, 30 or 40 bucks. Worth the purchase. 6208 in Appaloosa smooth bone. And these are all 1979. The first year they dropped. But like I said, my phone will never pick that up. A6208. Little half woodler there.
Very cool.
And like I said, she's from the wow. Did y'all hear that?
Yep.
That's crazy. That's crazy, Snap. Like I said, from the flea market, so it's not completely mint, but it's still really, really good condition. Great snap on those two. Y'all are definitely gonna like this one. This one also came from Tennessee Valley Knives. This is a 1987 or 88. I think it's 87 actually. It's the 52 pattern, which is the Congress, but it is a Whittler Congress, which everybody knows I love. I hunt these down like no other. And come with a sheep's foot, pin blade, and coping blade, all with long pulls on all the blades. You can see the blades are still unused, mint. Really, really cool knife. And he told me this is a different kind of bone that came on these. And you can tell it's not your typical looking Case bone. But I forgot. I'm going to have to look into that. And I'll do a video on this knife one day. And I'll have that information. But just some of my most recent purchases that I'm really proud of. And don't have any of these from Case, so this was my first one. So I'm pretty excited about that one. And I'll turn it over to somebody else before we get out of here.
All right. Did anybody else have anything that they wanted to share before we go on to our next question?
Yes, I have some recent nice purchases. A whole bunch, but I'll just show a few.
All right.
If you want to bring me up. I finally got a Sea Dragon. They were all out of stock. The Saudis went out. The large trappers went out. And I'm like, I want to pick up a mini, and those were out of stock. So I put in you can only get them from Smoky Mountain Knife Works because it's their exclusive. So I put in, hey, if they come back in stock, let me know. And I was at work. And they said, oh, we got them. And I'm like, well, they're kind of pricey, but I'm like, I got to get one. They're very limited. And sure enough, I ordered it, and by the time I got home, they were already out of stock. So I'm really glad I picked up this mini trapper Sea Dragon. It has some nice burn on it. The burn varies in these. It's a nice Caribbean kind of blue burn. My story of at the buck shop. So I was there, and the lady was saying, we have some Honduras. Oh, she said, I picked up a custom in the Honduras rosewood. And I'm like, those aren't custom. I've been on the shop. Did you guys add that as a inlay material, cover material? She's like, oh no, it was that special drop. And I'm like, oh yeah, that was sold out. She's like, well, we may have one in the back. And I said, what? Go get it. So she's like, went to the back. She went to the back room and looked like, oh, it's out. One of our employees bought it. So I was kind of disappointed. Well, she brought out two of these 110s. And this is the Honduras Ebony. You can see the striping in it. And so it's two great examples. And it's just a normal 110 with the 420. But this wood is definitely unique. And so I'm looking at both of them, and I picked the one with perfectly centered blade. It's almost, there's no left-right play, no up-down play. It's a perfect example. Basically feels like a custom. Very smooth, not gritty at all. This one had a perfectly centered blade. The other one was slightly off, but sometimes you get a little wiggle on these lockbacks when closed, so not a big deal. So I said, how much? $66.
All righty.
Yeah. I'm like,
Load me up.
$66, and that's like $1 more than just a normal 110. And it was nice to be able to see it, feel it, check it out before purchase. They give 20% off MSRP on all their knives there. So really good deals. And so I was able to walk out. And I know Smoky Mountain has the 110 and brown burlap for $100 I was considering, but I'm kind of glad I spent my money on this. I like the full size. And then for one more knife purchase, I finally picked up a Vault Congress. They are teeny, they are small, they can be pricey. They did have an orange synthetic on sale for I think $40. Where'd I get this? Red Hill had this on sale for $50, and they're usually about $75. It's the green and black micarta two-bladed mini. And I didn't want to spend $70 for such a small knife. It is nice. I wanted to get one in the collection. I was going back and forth between like gray pocket worn bone or red bone. But really glad I picked this up. I know Randy's WSG was gifted one, I think, by Zen.
Nice.
And as I do prefer bone, I really like Case's micarta. But I may have ordered a 75 in the same material. Very great snap, no blade rub, very cool, just small. I think it's like about 3 1/8 inch long little pocket dropper. So very happy. That's probably my latest.
Solid version.
Very happy. Always looking out for the deals. And the problem is I tell myself, oh, I'm going to slow down on buying knives, and then there's some great sale that goes on, and how can you not pass it up, you know? Especially when there's $75 to $100 and you can get them for $50 or $60.
I think we all feel your pain.
I'm slowing down though, really.
We got some kind of an echo. Oh,
I hear that.
Is that me?
No, I don't. Stop now. So okay, well that's good. All right. So let's see here. The last question that I saw that we had there was the favorite knife that you haven't got yet. I can't say that it's a favorite because I haven't got one yet. But I still really would like to get one of the Case Sow Belly Stockman. So I'm still saving up for one of those someday. And then I don't really know. I mean, as far as knives that I haven't got yet that I have, I'm in that phase with my trapper collection that I think I have enough of the standard trappers, but I would like to get some more mini trappers. I'd like to get some more slimline trappers, so that'll be something that I'll probably be adding to over the over this rest of this year, as
Can't forget the banana trapper.
the banana trapper would be good. A
Or
Panama.
the Panama trapper.
Yeah. Those are all things that be on the lookout.
I have a banana sow belly. That's kind of a banana sow belly.
Yeah.
Is that bone?
This is the yellow smooth bone.
Yeah. That's the one I've been eyeing, to tell you the truth.
And they are pricey. They're in the 80s, but with my discount, they come out to $60-something. And so I was torn between this yellow antique bone. I kind of originally went with the antique bone because classic look. You got the threading. This is kind of dark. It's like a root beery. It's kind of hard to come out here. Not as light as some of the other antique bones. And so I went with this. And then in the back of my head, I'm like, I really want to get one of these. And I'm amazed with the fit and finish on these. And for $66, $67, how can you not pass up a Tony Bose?
Yeah.
And I do want a 6.5. They are out at Red Hills. But so I'm slowing down. I'll just stop with 2 for now. Maybe someday I'll get a 6.5.
Yeah. Well, that's 2 more than I have. So there you go.
And me.
How about you, Tom? What's your how would you answer that question?
Well, I don't have enough Buck 102 knives.
Yeah, you have what, 4?
I'm looking for a special one, and it's a single line. Would be an inverted tang stamp on it, but it has an asterisk next to the buck, and that was only in 1967 that they put that asterisk on there. So I am looking for that knife. I've seen one on eBay about a year ago, wasn't able to get it, so I'm still, keeping my eyes out for that. And another one I'm still looking for is another version of the Buck 301 Camillus made and or trade made 301 Stockmans. I've got, I don't know, what, 5 or 6 of their 301s now throughout the years, but still
Right.
trying to fill in that line.
Very good. How about you,
Keeping
HT?
an eye out for you.
Outside of like what I don't think the question was really grails, more so just kind of stuff that's out there that's probably pretty acquirable. I just like to keep going my 112s. I've got some 110s now that are pretty old. I would like to get some 112s kind of in those same year ranges, some of the older 112s, and eventually get the 110 in that last range, that 61 to 67. Just kind of have the older pattern 110s and 112s. I kind of have an eye out for those.
Yeah, that's a great series of knives, that's for sure. Okay, Kaylin.
Like I said a while ago or earlier, really been digging these jack patterns here lately. So that's my favorite pattern to collect. Got a couple more red bones here.
Yeah, let me bring you up.
Purchased these previously. Had these for a few months now, or this one and another one I'm about to show. This is red bone, 1940 to 64 on the tang stamp, and the pattern is somewhere. There it is. They just barely got this tang stamp on there. It's very shallow. 62024 and a half. Bare head jack, no and
Oh, that's weird. What's that about?
I don't know.
I didn't even touch any buttons.
Here's a little bit larger one. Same years, 60 or 40 to 64. And I like this one because they placed the nail nick there at the front of the blade. Where this one, is more in the, or right behind the clip. This one's in the front of the clip. Which is a little bit different, a little bit fatter clip point there. It's not really your typical clip point. It's just different.
Like the anvil knives Stockman that I've seen, they have that same shape of blade where it goes into the drop point and you have the nail nick right there as it's descending down that slope.
Yeah.
It kind of looks almost like an eye of a shark, swimming in the water or something, kind of.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. This one obviously it has beautiful red bone handles.
Oh yeah.
This one is 6'2", 16 and a half. So 16 pattern jackknife. Really digging these. Like I said, I'm always looking for these or Barlows or my Stockman collection is very, very well off at the moment, so kind of slowed down on those. Obviously, if I find a 75 or a 92 pattern that I like, I'll purchase that without hesitation. But getting into the jackknives.
Welcome to the club.
It's been a while.
All right, Andrew.
What am I looking to purchase, or grail knives?
It could be a grail. It could be your next knife. What kind of knives are you looking towards for future purchases?
The full size copper locks for sure, because I only have 2. Case is coming out with a sky blue one that's going to be full size. I've pre-ordered that. At Shepherd Hills, they do have auctions, and I had bid on 2 of them. One was an amber bone from the 90s, and the other one was a harvest orange, and of course I got outbid on those. Tribal lock, I had bid on one of those, got outbid on one of those. I'd like to get one of those in the collection, and I do eventually would like to pick up a 110 custom in elk.
Oh, nice.
Elk
Yeah.
covers, and Buck keeps offering me 20% off, so I could get one for probably under 200. But I just can't decide: pins, no pins, brass, nickel, silver, blade steels. I'm so indecisive on that custom shop.
HT is your man for that.
And you can look on eBay. They have some older Buck customs that they have covers that they are no longer available. So I've kind of been scouring that a bit. But I'd say full size copper locks have got to be one of my favorite. I'd like to find a lizard skin. I'm not going to pay crazy amount of money for it, but those lizard skins are a little bit more exclusive than the other covers. But I really like them, and I think I want to collect more because I like the size, and I only have 2.
Yeah, perfect.
I keep buying Trappers and Barlows.
Yep. I know. I know the feeling. All right, guys. Well, this just about wraps up.
That was good. That was good. That was a good show. Good questions.
Question and answer show. This has been a lot of fun. I think we'll have to do this again.
For sure.
For sure. I thank everyone in the chat that was providing questions to us and stuff. Thank you. And you guys think of your questions that you'd like to answer or have us answer. Of course, we'll answer questions during any of our live streams that the chat may have. So don't think that this was your only chance to get us, but this was really our first. We're going to just do all questions this time show, and I think it was a lot of fun. We like to see what you guys are thinking about. And oh, there you go. James Stork says his new favorite is the 47 pattern Stockman from Case. I agree. That's an awesome knife. So anyways, we will see you guys next week for sure. And you guys take care. And we'll see you all next time.
We'll see y'all.